We're just hours away from the Carifta Track and Field Championships, and BEC union members stage a peaceful demonstration.
Also ahead, why the inquest into the death of a prisoner is put on hold.
And fun times in the Blue Hole. We've got that story from Andres. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Chris Saunders.
Topping the news tonight, members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union held a peaceful demonstration today, and it was all in response to cost-cutting measures the BEC chairman, Leslie Miller, is proposing.
Now, that union members also claim that employers are being targeted by Miller for dismissal and all of the measures that he wants to have been brought in place but have not been negotiated.
Now, the union members held a press conference outside of the BEC headquarters on Blue Hill Road today, staging a sit-in for the remainder of the day.
Our Janae Noel Ferguson was there and has tonight's top story.
Asking our staff to sit in, and we are initiating a work the rule going forward.
That's the stand members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union are taking as their saga heats up in the ongoing strained negotiations with management. On Thursday, workers walked off the job not only in New Providence, but reportedly across the country to stage a peaceful demonstration. They say they're not too pleased with the chairman's cost-cutting measures, one of them a new shift system. With $1 million dished out each month in overtime, Chairman Miller feels a new system will save the corporation millions. While this is only one of their concerns, the Vice President, Irvin Smith, is calling on the Prime Minister to intervene.
You know, when we are in a unionized environment, it's difficult when we come to work, and number one, we don't know if our employment still stands. We are tired of him victimizing our employees, intimidating our employees, and we just as a union, we are tired of his actions.
Smith claims that Miller is making this matter a personal one against certain employees.
Evident that there are some employees who are being targeted, and I'm not going to call any names, but they are definitely, and we know, the union know of employees now who are being targeted, and we are putting a stop to it today.
Targeted to do what? Cut pay?
Dismissed, terminated, to be terminated.
The union members also took issue with reports about BEC employees planning to sabotage the upcoming Carifta Games.
To put the country to rest assured that no, we don't sabotage. We don't do that. We understand Carifta. We welcome those persons. We welcome tourism into our country. So for us to talk about sabotage, no, we don't do that.
Smith said they're asking employees not to work any more overtime, but would not say if this action was sanctioned by the Department of Labor. When asked how this would affect the upcoming games, this is how Smith responded.
And BC have personnel that are ready on standby to come out in the event of an emergency.
Now, union workers were told not to leave the compound until 4 p.m. and to continue their work to rule until further notice. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
ZNS News contacted BEC Chairman Leslie Miller, who said he has targeted no one, nor has he discriminated against any of the employees at BEC. He says BEC has a code of ethics and employees must conduct themselves in accordance with that code of ethics. Miller said the board will do what is necessary to ensure harmony and goodwill throughout the corporation. Now, even though the union has gone on record saying members will not participate in sabotage during the Carifta Track and Field Championships, Miller says they should not even think of participating in such. Miller adds that BEC executives team is doing its best to work with the staff and address the problems, and he reminded union members that the Bahamian people own the corporation.
The police officer who allegedly took a confession statement from accused murderer Billy Johnson testified during his murder trial today. Johnson is accused of gunning down Haitian national Rodney Fertilien back on 2010. Fern Carey is following the case.
A police officer testified during the Billy Johnson murder trial Thursday that Johnson, who is also known as Billy Steels, allegedly confessed during a police interview that he was hired as a hitman by someone he knew only as KK to gun down Haitian national Rodney Fertillion because Fertillion was trespassing on KK's drug turf. 24-year-old Fertillion was killed on Dowsville Street back on March 26 of 2010. He died from gunshot wounds to the head and back. Meantime, the officer told the court that Johnson informed her that KK gave him a 9mm gun. She was further told that they went along with another man to Bay Street, where KK showed Johnson the man he wanted him to kill. The officer said she was told the man ran towards Paradise Island Bridge when he realized he was being watched. They apparently caught up with him, and that's when Johnson and KK got out of the car. KK tripped down the man, and Johnson shot him about 5 times. The officer said Johnson also informed her that he and KK fled the scene. The trial continues Tuesday before Justice Bernard Turner. Ramona Farquharson Seymour is defending Johnson. Fern Geary, ZNS Network News.
The coroner's inquest into the death of 35-year-old Jamie Smith did not get underway today as scheduled. Smith's family members will now have to wait until April 17th for those proceedings to begin. Smith was found dead in a cell at the Central Detective Unit on February 8th after he was taken in for questioning on a number of matters. A pathologist found that he died from a lack of oxygen. Attorney Christina Galanos represents the family, while attorneys Wayne Monroe and Ian Cargill will represent the interest of the officers. Meantime, the inquest into the death of Aaron Roll resumes on April 8th. He is the other suspect who died in police custody at the Southern Police Station.
Also tonight, though their anger may still linger, a family is relieved tonight knowing that they can now bury the body of their loved one after first being told the body could not be found on Wednesday. Relatives of 45-year-old William Simonet expressed concern after his body apparently went missing from the morgue of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Sherry Ann Scavala says her brother's lifeless body was found badly decomposed and partially burnt on a beach in Eleuthera back in December last year, and that they had finally planned to bury him on Saturday.
To get the body, we went to the coroner's court yesterday, me, one of my sisters, and his children, one of his children, and my mother, and everything was finalized and everything. We planned to do everything on Saturday. I'm supposed to be leaving tomorrow. But what is happening now is that Mr. Camille Cox, Northside Funeral Home, he went to pick up the remains, and he was told that the body wasn't in the morgue of William Simonet.
Now that news sent the family into a panic, according to the president of Northside Funeral Home and Crematorium, mortician Camille Cox. It's not the first time a grieving family has had to deal with an incident like this. Now our news team contacted the Public Hospital Authority's managing director, Herbert Brown, who said there was a misunderstanding. Now, according to Mr. Brown, Simonet's body is in the morgue, but said it was only today that its release was authorized.
The remains, but Ms. Cavala, the sister, identified the remains back in December, and she knows what it looked like. So therefore, she needs to be here, and they need to show her the remains for the simple reason they couldn't find it, and they could give any remains. So for her to have closure to this, she wanted to be sure that they are giving her the remains of her brother, and I want to be certain that we are cremating the right person.
In our first look at weather, slightly warmer temperatures expected on the weekend, but outside of our studios just now, we have a few clouds, temperatures 68 degrees, relative humidity 49%, your winds out of the north-northeast at about 8 knots, barometric pressure 1,021.8 millibars, that's 30.17 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned, temperatures around the family violence, travel, and boating forecast is still to come.
Big news for us here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas today signed an agreement with ESPN International allowing ZNS's HD Carifta broadcast for the 2003 championships to be fed and streamed on ESPN International's broadband platform and to televise 3 one-hour highlight shows of the 2013 Carifta Games on ESPN International network throughout the world.
Now, the corporation, as the host broadcaster for Carifta 2013, has exclusive rights for the Track and Field Championship, which is slated to be held at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium March 29th through April 1st.
Now, BCB Chairman William Thompson says the agreement with ESPN International provides Carifta with an international platform with the world's best sports broadcast television organization that will allow audiences everywhere to appreciate not only excellent athletic competition, but hopefully will generate increased interest in all that the Bahamas has to offer as a country.
Now, live coverage on ZNS TV 13 starts with the official opening ceremony tomorrow, Friday, March 29th at 5 p.m. here on ZNS TV 13, and will continue each afternoon at 4 p.m. with live competition. Some 23 Caribbean countries are expected to participate. Go Team Bahamas. The Deputy Prime Minister traveled to Andros. We'll tell you why coming up.
And then later on, we take in a jazz festival. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell HELIX Ultra. Performance you can see.